Okay, friends, let's take a look at the market and let's talk about Trump waging war on allies. Okay, friends, let's talk about Trump's war on allies. Here's what you need to know. First up, some things have been getting better, mostly in the realm of our geopolitical foes, and some things have been getting worse, mostly in the realm of our allies, which is kind of interesting. Let's talk about it. First up, though, let's take a look at the market the same way we've always been looking at it. Red is the S&P 500, orange is the 50-day moving average, purple is the 200-day moving average, and what do you notice? Well, first of all, we're at all-time highs. We have surmounted the peak in February of this year, our peak before tariffs, before Liberation Day, before the news panic. Looks really good. A breakout here to new all-time highs is really positive, and I think there's a lot of data that shows when the early part of the year is this strong, inclusive of a 15% plus drawdown, typically the back half of the year is also going to be strong because essentially everybody that wanted to sell already has sold. They did so in the news panic. And so what that means is, as we go forward into the back half of this year, there should be some buying pressure as positions get put back on, and all of that's going to raise the stock market. Another positive development I have here, you notice this orange line is finally above the purple line. The 50-day has crossed above the 200-day. And so what this tells us is we are now in just a beautifully shaped and looks really good technical uptrend. The only thing negative that I will say is the 50-day moving average is a little bit far away from us. That can sometimes be dangerous of an air pocket, but things look good. I think there's a positive tenor to the market, and I expect that to continue. However, we want to be careful here at all-time highs. What I'm showing you here on the screen, this is the S&P 500 during Trump's first presidency. And this is sort of what informs my viewpoint. If you've talked to me about Trump and his impact on the market, I've said numerous times it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Here's why I think that. If you look at Trump's presidency and you look at the turns that the market had during his first administration, what you notice is there's very sharp peaks. So we make a very sharp V on the way up, and there's very sharp bottoms. We make a V on the way down as well. He's a chaos agent. He likes chaos. He uses chaos to sort of advance his agenda on the political side. Markets famously don't like chaos. So what that means is when the market's high, you've got to expect there's going to be another news panic somewhere in the future that's going to cause it to reverse lower. And when the market is low, you have to expect that Trump's going to do something that's going to put the market back on solid footing. So V's on the way up, V's on the way down, a lot of bouncing in between. So here at all-time highs, what I would be thinking about, I think the market's going to be pretty good into the back half of the year, but I'm going to be on watch for that very next Trump event that's going to put in a sharp V top for us and put us into the next event, whatever it is. That doesn't mean it's going to be as bad as Liberation Day. I don't think you could engineer something that would be that bad, but I know that there's something out there and I know that it's coming. Wanted to talk a little bit about what's getting better and what's getting worse. What's getting better is sort of, the wars, I guess I will call them. Details have started to emerge. This is CNN reporting about efforts to find a diplomatic solution to what's been happening over in Iran. And if you'll remember, we've talked about Iran once before. We talked about back channeling being pretty strong there. I view what Israel and Iran were doing as actual and authentic event. I view what the US and Iran are doing as a little bit kind of theater in a way. And so here's what I mean. This latest diplomatic deal is a $30 billion aid package for a civilian nuclear program, no uranium enrichment, release of Iran's frozen $6 billion. And we're going to give Iran potentially a new nuclear site to replace Fordo, but without enrichment capabilities. Now, that is a really big head scratcher for me, mainly because if we just blew up their enrichment capabilities and we said, hey, no nukes, we're kind of handing them the nukes back. And so this whole situation doesn't make a whole lot of logical sense to me. And so what that tells me is there's something that's going on behind the scenes. And what I think is going on behind the scenes is I don't think our issues with Iran are related to Iran. I think it was more Israeli appeasement more than anything else. And clearly the fact that we're going to rebuild everything that we just went over there and blew up, if we did blow it up, tells us that, there's something more going on here. Speaking of making positive developments with our foes. Yesterday, Trump said, hey, I signed the deal with China yesterday, and there's a big deal coming up with India. And this is interesting in the show, sort of Trump's diplomacy. He's willing to reach out to, maybe some of those more challenged relationships that the U.S. has. And I think that's interesting just as a contrast to who he's not playing nice with. And that would be Canada. This is from today, Truth Social. Again, the financial markets basically run on Truth Social right now. But what he said was, he basically said, I think we're just going to send Canada a letter. Hey, here's your tariff. Here's what you're going to pay. And that's it. No more negotiations. Trade deal is over. We're not coming to a deal. And Trump has famously said that Canada was tough and said that Europe was tough. And these guys are our allies. So on the one hand, we've got olive branches to Iran, to China. And on the other hand, we've got the stick or the switch coming for Canada and Europe, who are our allies. And I think this is sort of endemic to Trump diplomacy. So what does it all mean, Trump's war on allies? Well, one, good thing, the market is now at all-time highs. Pretty great. Two, in my version of the Trump playbook, this means we need to brace for the next news shock. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it's coming from. And really, I can't think of anything right now that would cause the next V peak in the market. But I know it's coming. It's just Trump's nature. That's what's going to happen. So we want to be cognizant of that. We don't want to get too far over our skis here. Trump seems to be extending olive branches to geopolitical foes, China, Iran, and maybe even Russia. They've been going on sort of like a charm offensive to Donald Trump. And Trump seems to be playing hardball with allies, Canada and maybe Europe too. So very interesting, sort of like the sphere of influence is being redrawn here. But the market looks strong. My expectation is for it to continue strong all the way through the back half of the year. And the only thing that can remove that would be our bull in a china shop of a president potentially creating one of those chaos events. But when that event comes, we will get through it just the same way we got through this last one. So there you go. That's the market review. Everything looks pretty great. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next week. Okay, friends, that was the video. Hope you liked it. If you found it informative, good, entertaining, I'd love if you could scroll down here beneath the video and give me a like there. It helps us out with the algorithm. And then if you want to be notified first of anything new that we upload to the channel, if you come over here, click subscribe, you'll be the first to know as soon as we upload anything. Appreciate it. See you soon.